We don't start many news programmes with words like this. He felt like a mongoose going into a cobra's nest and stealing the egg. Who are we talking about? Tyson Fury, of course, as he returned to the Northwest after becoming the heavyweight champion of the world.
Yes, from humble beginnings in Manchester's traveller community, his shock victory over Vladimir Klitschko has catapulted him into international sports stardom. But will his new status mean Fury reining in the sometimes outrageous side of his personality? I think not. Our sports correspondent Chris Hall was at the homecoming news conference.
We have the new unified heavyweight champion of the world, Mr. Tyson Fury.
Back home and back on the front foot.
You don't like it, change the station. You don't like it, don't take photos. You don't like it, don't print it in your newspaper. Do I care? Not really.
Be real, people. Change your lives now. Stop being yes men. Stop being plastic. God give you your own mind. Use it.
An angry response from Team Fury aimed at those who counterbalance his world title achievement with his misgivings. Whether for his press conference antics or his views on abortion and gay marriage, a devout Fury has been unrepentant until now.
I'd like people to get to know the real Tyson Fury, behind all the bravado, behind all the tongue-in-cheek, behind the person trying to sell fights and sell tickets and create controversy and interest.
I know you say you never have any regrets, but would you handle certain interview situations and some of the negative publicity that you had slightly different now?
Well, we'll find out, won't we? The proof will be in the pudding. I want to help people. I want to help people who are less fortunate than me and kids in need. We will find out what type of person I really am over the next few years or whatever.
Fury has been fighting since birth. A premature baby, he fit into his father's hand, but was quickly toughened up by his family from the travelling community.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Tyson Fury.
Since his debut, he's put on the front of a showman. He says without the controversy, he would never have got a shot at his dream. A dream which the sporting world still hasn't woken from.
From the United Kingdom,
I feel like a mongoose going into a cobra's nest. We snuck in there like mongooses, got the cobra's eggs and left.
When Muhammad Ali dethroned Liston, they still never gave him the credit. It wasn't until years later. This is the boxing business. People's always got this to say, got that to say, but real boxing people know what's happened.
Don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep because I love you, babe.
Scenes like this might soften his detractors. Serenades and tears from the bad man of boxing. Just hours earlier, his wife had told him she was pregnant with his third child.
Yeah, it was a very emotional time. We've been working on a journey for such a long time, and to achieve it when all the odds were against you, it was even more sweeter. It was an Armageddon song out of the film Armageddon, and I saved the world from boring boxing.
I know you said that you don't want to talk about who you fight next, but this is a very early interview you did with ITV a few years ago.
British title, Commonwealth title, European title, world title, and by then I'll just sit back in my chair and relax. Retired, undefeated heavyweight champion of the world.
Would you consider retirement now? Is that one of the options?
Yeah, it is one of the options, to be honest. I have to think what I want to do in my life now. Everything I said on that camera a long time ago, British, Commonwealth, European, world, I've done. For me, it's not about the money side of things, and I suppose I could retire right now, and I have nothing more to prove to anybody.
Some would be glad to see him go. Others would miss his box office behaviour. What is sure is that Manchester's heavyweight champion has made a lasting impact.
Well, Chris had a ringside seat at the conference. Chris, any sign of Mr. Fury changing at all?
Well, you know, every time that we've interviewed him, we've asked him about controversial things that he said in interviews. He's always said that he had no regrets and that he wouldn't change. And today he dismissed talk at the press conference about being a role model. But you get him to one side and he's a different person. He wants to talk about the more caring side of Tyson Fury. That's the side he wants to get across. His uncle says he's 95% good, 5% bad, and that they're going to work on that as he matures. So hopefully they'll cut out some of the silliness, maybe not all the silliness. We want to see Batman come back again, I think.
Yeah, we do. What next for him?
Well, Vladimir Klitschko does have a rematch clause, which he can take up at Wembley Stadium in May next year. If he decides to retire, then British fight fans will want to see Anthony Joshua, the Olympic champion, come up against Tyson Fury. Or perhaps the American Deontay Wilder, who holds the WBC belt. One person he won't fight is David Haye, who twice pulled out of fights against Tyson Fury. His name was Mud at today's press conference.
OK, Chris, thanks very much indeed. Thank you for that.
Now, Stuart Flinders is joining us for this evening's sport. We're talking about, obviously, this chap here, Tyson Fury. You have been speaking to him this afternoon, and he's been telling you perhaps more than you expected.
Well,
quite surprising.
That's right. Yes, we have another world champion, Tyson Fury, who grew up in Style in Cheshire, lives in Heysham in Lancashire. He's back home in the northwest after his impressive victory over Vladimir Klitschko. And minutes after appearing at a news conference at the White's Hotel at Bolton's Macron Stadium, as Annabelle was alluding to, he told me he might give up boxing altogether. More on that in a moment, but first, the return of the hero.
Tyson Fury drove himself to the hotel, almost into the hotel, and was met by his fans, some of whom call him their friend.
We bumped into each other on a night out in Lancaster. We saw him actually about 4 years ago today. He was stood at a bar and nobody recognised him. He was there on his own, and my brother here had seen him a few weeks before that, but there was loads of people around him.
And now look at him now.
Exactly, and here he is. You know, he won't be able to go anywhere and not be noticed, so it's a hell of a turnaround.
We have the new unified heavyweight champion of the world, Mr. Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury surprised many not just by beating Vladimir Klitschko, but by seeming to win so comfortably. He celebrated in the ring by singing a song to his wife.
I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep 'cause I love you.
No singing today, but he did reveal the lengths he went to after the fight to ensure the result wasn't challenged.
Because I had my friend Dave, he brought all the waters over and the drinks from England. There was no chance of me getting drugged. And after the fight, I went home dehydrated before I even touched anything, because I was so frightened of being drug tested and failing the drugs test where they give me something. Then I didn't want to take waters or any drinks or any food from anybody.
The news conference itself was part celebration, part vindication, a chance to challenge those his father accused of doubting the new champion.
Jonathan Ross has been on the phone. Pierce Brosnan will be on the phone. The Queen will be up with some medals. Where would they 3 years ago? Nowhere to be seen. And look here, today.
Tyson Fury's been accused of being anti-gay after appearing to suggest in a recent newspaper interview that homosexuality should be illegal. Today he was reminded that he was controversial, but dismissed that as one more attempt to stop him realising his dream.
Well, after the news conference, I sat down with Tyson Fury to discuss his superb achievement, that controversy that sometimes dogs him, and about whether he really could, after achieving his dream, walk away from the sport.
Well done. We've followed your career on Northwest Tonight over the years. I remember you telling us when you were 18 you were going to do this, and here you are.
It's been a long time coming. I've had quite a long time to prove that what I was saying could become correct. And over time and dedication, experience, it came all right on Saturday night.
It's been a big motivation for you to prove your doubters wrong, hasn't it? But now you've actually made it. What will be the motivation to carry on?
This is what I was saying to quite a few of the other guys. I haven't made any decisions on what I'm going to do next or who I'm going to fight or if I will fight at all. You know.
Is that a possibility? You might just pack it in?
Yeah, you know, I didn't set off in life to be a super rich person or to defend 15 times in a world title. I set off to be the #1 in the division and to be the heavyweight champion of the world. And I'm that now, so where I go from here, I don't know. I've always said it's not about money for me. It's not about the belts. It was always about being the #1 in the division. And now I'm that person. It's just sort of where do I go next and what do I do next? I've not made any decisions on my career or anything, so don't be jumping to conclusions. But we'll have a good sit down. We'll speak to Peter about it, speak to me dad, speak to me family, and we'll see where we go from here.
You've been named after Mike Tyson. How do you compare yourself now with the other great heavyweights?
Well, to be honest, it's more of an honour for me to be mentioned in the same lines as those guys, because growing up as a child, you see these on the TV and you see all the great champions from the past, and now my name goes down in history.
Well, your uncle mentioned your name alongside Muhammad Ali's, didn't he, during the press conference?
That's right, yeah. A lot of people have been making the same statements.
Do you see yourself as a sort of Muhammad Ali figure?
I don't see myself as a certain specific trying to be somebody else. I am a unique person. I'm trying to be myself. I'm not trying to be anybody else. And the way I act and the way I perform, it's not an act or a performance. It is me, and whether people like or they don't, Some people like it, some people don't like it, and that's
Well,
what
let me ask you
opinions are
about that, because quite often people describe you as a controversial figure.
Yeah.
Do you understand why that is? You've made remarks about homosexuality in particular, which offended some people.
Yeah. What remarks did I make?
Well, some people have suggested that you're homophobic. I'm just giving you the opportunity to clear that up.
Yeah, that's what I am, yeah. I just want to clear that up, that I'm not against any homosexuality or lesbians or colour, creeds, generations, races of people. You know, if I'm a God-fearing person and I get all my energy from God, then how could I hate on my fellow brother and sister? Whatever they done, God will forgive them.
All right, you've not decided what you're going to do in boxing terms next. What are you going to do in the next few weeks?
To be honest, I've been saying it a long time. I wanted to be the #1 in the division. I've done that, and I've also been saying for quite a while now that I want to help the homeless people in the local area. I want to help the drug abusers and alcoholics. I want to do something positive with my status rather than doing the usual stuff, buying crazy stuff and all that. I'm not really into that sort of stuff. I want to help my fellow humans. So if that's a bad thing, then I'm a bad person, clearly. But if that's not a bad thing, then obviously I'm not a bad person.
Well done. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Well done to Tyson Fury. And we seem to have a new boxing champion every week on Northwest Tonight at the minute.